Hello, good morning on this wonderful Saturday morning, and welcome everyone. And today I want to welcome my special guest, Liberata Carey.
Oh,
and, and I am so excited to share time and space with you, Liberata, and with everyone else who is going to be joining. So as you're coming in, as always, please go ahead and say hello and where you're joining from. And we're definitely going to do a Q&A at the end and some inspirational things as well. And so please stay until the end for sure, because there are some gifts there for you. And even I want to just say the reason why I wanted to invite Liberata is she's a member of Beauty Flourishing, but at the same time, you just have so many gifts that I know that everyone can benefit who is listening. And so I'm so excited to share this time and space with you and with everyone. And if you all have any questions at all at any point, then please go ahead and chime in. And like I said, we're definitely going to do a Q&A at the end. So Liberata, welcome. I'm,
good morning. It's
I am
okay.
so happy to have you here. And we actually met officially for the first time now while we were chatting a little bit for a couple minutes before we came on live. And to me, it's just so fun because just the women, who come join my programs and who come join my communities are just so special to me. And so for you and I to connect now, it's just wonderful. I love it. So to begin with, I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey, because you have extensive background in energy healing already and had prior to coming to Beauty Flourishing to the membership. And so I'm really curious to hear about your journey. You're also a mom and very busy. And so can't wait for you to share. So please go ahead and introduce yourself, Liberata.
Hello, everybody, and all my friends from Beauty Flourishing. I'm so excited to be here and share this space with you. I thank you, and I'm full of gratitude that you have this time and place for yourself, that you're actually here and sharing this space with me. I'm very grateful for that. My journey it began in 2008, and I was just then working as a physio and just looking. I kept having this feeling that we are something more and I'm meant for more, but I never knew what it was, and I kept looking. And the first course I ever stumbled on was the angel therapy course, and when I went ahead and did it, I just took it for the heck of it. And when I did it, I was like, wow, we have angels who listen to us. I mean, who knew we could actually do this? I heard of angels because I had a very Catholic background. And so for me to get my head around asking my angels and knowing that it will be provided was such a huge, it took me a year, guys, that to even get around that idea of something like that is possible for me, because sometimes our upbringing is so much about the guilt and we're not worthy and things like that, and so I actually have to struggle with that. But what happened was the angels were totally there, and so every time I asked for a message, and my asking would be like, yeah, right, if this is really true, show me you're really there. And zoom, there would be a car that went by and it would be 777, and right enough, like right in my face where I could not
Wow.
miss it. Then the
Wow.
question would be, I was in Dubai then when all this whole growth happened, and then one after the other I went into hypnotherapy and then data healing, and I just almost became like a spiritual junkie. I couldn't get enough because there was so much, and I was like, oh my god, this is magic. And then I had a whole lot of fascination with a few things, and then I just had to come back and ground myself, which happened over the years, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so during that time I always had phases where I would hit a wall, and where most of us would, and then I would always want someone to speak to then. But of course I would never have anyone to speak to this, like, because when I felt that whenever I spoke, I was the only one speaking, and people would just be like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
Or really? And so, but then I would always be like so high in energy. Oh yeah, and I just got the sign, and I know in my heart that God is great. I just didn't know that he would actually come and talk to me and have conversations with me like this. And
yeah.
so because of that excitement, I could go. I could keep myself going. But I think it kind of, after I came here, is when I was like, there was no one. My community, my friends, everyone was back home, and so I was so far away, and I didn't have anything to hold on to. And so I was looking for community, and that's when I think 2 babies after, I came across Beauty Flourishing. In fact, I came across Beauty Flourishing just when I had my first baby, and Silke was holding Sacred Space just 5 days of what you could do to have sacred space. And when I came across that, I was just like, oh, this is doable in my time. I can do this. Like, oh yeah. And my husband was totally in. He always supports me with everything. So he's like, oh yeah, I can hold the baby. You can go and sit in that tub. You can have this candlelight. Yeah, yeah, whatever you need, you know. And so it was really something that I felt like gave me so much of help in those 5 days that we had. And then again, when I came across you, I think it was another year later, like just recently. And then I was like, I'm not sure about this membership thing, because then I had like stayed home for almost 2 years now with my first one. And then the second one was already due. And so I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. But I kept feeling like I was going to miss a bus if I did not go on that bus. And it's like, my people are out here. You have friends in there. Go, Libby, go. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to join for a couple months and just see if this helps me. And obviously, in those couple months, or even till now, I have a confession. I have not been able to even attempt a single actual, art or craft. But I've always felt like, whenever I was nearing the end, and for me, it was huge because I was not working. And so we had bills to pay. And even that much money made a difference in my life, right? But I've also learned this, that if you really have your heart in it and, it's meant for you, it will be provided. And so
Yeah.
right before your payment, something would come up and I would get paid.
Oh.
And I would be like, oh, hallelujah, I can still continue with Beauty Flourishing, and be a part of this, because I was so hooked on to the energy of this. I joined it for community, and then I felt like I got so much more than that. Like, so even though with my like vast background and going through things since 2008, and working on people, and I always felt like I looked forward to somewhere where I could fall back and go for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes all I needed was like just a quick one. If I go and I'm looking at your card readings, for example, on Wednesdays, and then I have a card, I know that card will tell me just what I need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Or or if I just go into the Beauty Flourishing and just see through one of your teachings, then I know, okay, this is the teaching for the day, and I will get what I need here. And so that's why I felt like that holds so much space. And the frequencies that you set, because I do the theta healing, and we go so deep into with theta, and we're working on a person, we are so in tune with the energy that happens. So the energy that you always set, and now it's like coming from my heart because I can feel this while I speak to you, is that it always, if I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh my God, when someone's praying for you, you will always feel like there's like this cloak around you that's always guiding you, protecting you. And with the Beauty Flourishing, I felt like the grids that you set and the frequencies that you set around it always kind of held space. And obviously that is the reason why the women feel that protection and that safety. You always set that safety net and that security net there. We could be who we want to be and shine the way we want to be, even if it is bringing up two children. Sometimes it takes strength to do this stuff differently, especially when you've been brought up differently. And a little bit about myself is that my dad was an alcoholic, and he always struggled with alcoholism. And so when our upbringing was always my upbringing, because I was the only child, was a little violent. And though my mother tried to kind of protect and stuff, the first thing I would run to when my children are wrong is like, whack them, because that's just how it was. We were brought up. And I was brought up, and I was the most mischievous, so I was the most pasted by all of them happily, because I always did stuff they told me not to do, just rebel. And that was my seeking for attention then, which I understand now. But back then as a child, it was horrible. When I look back and I think about the words that were spoken to me and the things that were told, so it's been a huge journey. And I feel supported in this whole part, because it helps me to keep going back, looking, and get rid of, let go, release things that are no longer serving me. And I feel like at any point, all you have to do is, for every woman who's watching this, is just take that one step and say, I am ready for self growth, and I'm ready to fill my cup. Because if I fill my cup, then my cup will overflow and will fill everybody else around. But if I'm walking around with an empty cup, then there's only so far that I can go before I get annoyed and irritated and angry, or I lash out or something that way. And so I feel that's really important as a message for all the women out there to listen to. And yeah, so that was my journey from in short. Basically, I can go on and on, but I know we are limited for time and space. And what I like is every time, for example, the decision to go come to Canada, I was like, please show me a sign, Lord, that now I need to come to Canada, or I need to come here. And so a car zoomed by, or I was in the bus. I remember I was holding on to the bus because there was no place to sit then that day in Dubai, and we were going to my destination, and I was by myself. And the car that came, it overtook and came right in front of the bus, was a car that was white in color, and it had red stripes on it, like the Canadian flag kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
I was just like, my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh my god. And then I realized that, oh, I have to say thank you. Oh, thank you for the sign. That was a little bit difficult to take over, but yeah, that's just how they show it. If they want to make themselves known, I feel the angels do that, and they've done that constantly. And
Yeah.
then when I came here, we had just come in, and I had a miscarriage, and so I was really disappointed with the whole thing. And this was my second one, and I could not understand, because I've been through so much of growth. Now, why this again? So, because it was my second one. And thank you, Debbie. I just seen your message. Thank you very much. And so I was like, again, I was searching, and I was like, please tell me. And the cards kept saying, eat organic, eat organic. And I was like, how do I do that? Because as is Indian, everything is deep fried, everything is cooked well, everything is added masala, and I was like, no. And then I went for yoga that day, and the person who was teaching introduced me to Juice Plus, which I then joined, and later on, like, it became one of the things that I continue as a business. And so that was again kept coming as signs to me. And just how it kept showing up in every different form. And so I
Yeah.
felt like the minute you are ready to listen, the signs come in and the synchronicities come in, because so many times they come in, but you're so blinded sometimes by anger or self-doubt that you don't even notice them. But
Mhm.
now it does not have to be like a car has to brake for me to see it. Now
Yeah.
it will just show like a flake on my, or it'll form like, angel signs on my windows and things like that, or it'll freeze like that, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. And because now you know that it's everywhere, because
Yeah.
now I'm looking for it, basically. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm just hanging in there and saying, yeah, whatever. But now I'm so in tune, and I feel that being a part of community is so important, because if I talk like this to other people who don't know me, they'll be like, oh yeah, 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 happy journey, good for you. And frankly, I'm the kind of person who doesn't care. I will still go on because it's my experience, right? But a lot of women who have this keep shut because they keep self-doubting themselves and thinking, is this really me? Am I going berserk? Is something wrong with me? No,
Yeah.
it's just that we as women it's in tuned in us to be intuitive. It's in tuned in us. It's in our blood to be intuitive and to know and to have an understanding about things without having a reason always for it. We
Yeah.
just know, like, it's just like, how your child's going to go there and he's going to fall. You know what I mean? It's like this instinct that is so natural. It's just that we have to tune in, and I feel like you provide a beautiful space of safety and a beautiful frequency for us to come in and discover ourselves through arts, through crafts, through so many different things that you do. Right? It's not that we are doing only spiritual teachings, and so you're only doing that, but you're just allowing yourself space to do that art brings on so many thoughts with it that create the beauty within ourselves, or that brings out the beauty within ourselves. And that's why I really love the concept of beauty flourishing itself. And so thank you very much for who you are and what you do.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Liberata. Thank you for being a part of it, because, it's really, like you said, the community and each woman that is there and that contributes. And I mean, everybody just holds such a beautiful space for each other. Oh, Margaret just popped in. Let me see. She's saying, Liberata, so great. to meet you in the live session. I
Oh,
love your story and your message. I'm so glad to be with you in this amazing group with Silke. Oh,
oh,
thank you,
thank
Margaret, and
you.
thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Margaret's going to be on Monday evening, by the way, so I'm excited about that.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. And hello, everyone, by the way. So I'm going to catch up for a second. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Joan. Belinda. Hey, good morning. And so thank you for joining. Steph, hi, welcome. So glad you're all here. And again, if any of you have any questions at all for us, please go ahead and chime in and let us know. My gosh, Liberata, thank you for everything. I mean, this is so profound, and this is exactly what it really is all about. And Joan is saying, thank you so much. A beautiful story, and it really is. I mean, gosh, and that's what I love. I mean, you all are such gifts to the world, and what you contribute, to your kids, to your family, to your community, and that's really, in the end, what it's all about. And like you said, we fill our own cup, and then it overflows. So I'm curious, as far as how does beauty flourishing on a daily basis shift and change your life, especially as a mom too, and for your family as well.
For me, I try as much. So when the kids are sleeping, I plug in and I go
Hmm.
to Beauty Flourishing and I'm listening to any like audible teachings that you have, because that for
Hmm.
me is like, okay, I can listen to this while these guys are sleeping. Or I put on the meditation and I know most of the times I'm so 100% sure that I'll be asleep before you even, go midway through your meditation. But I know that I'm listening because I birthed my first one using hypno babies.
Oh,
And
amazing.
so when I would fall asleep listening to that, it was like your subconscious mind is still listening.
Yes.
And so you still can have a beautiful birth because if just once you listen to it consciously, then you know what is to be done. Basically, your body
Hmm.
just knows, your mind knows. And so when I put your meditation on, I just know that my subconscious mind is getting what it needs to get. And that is more than enough. Even though my conscious mind cannot stay awake to get all that, because it just goes like the minute you say, you are okay here, nobody needs you this moment, you are told, give yourself permission to be here. I just go because nobody needs me in my mind, right? It's just so tired at the end of the day. Or even in between when you're napping, you want to be there. I want to be there and doing all my arts and crafts and stuff. But the only thing that my conscious mind can actually do is just like it can just shut off. That's what it can do. But I know there's beautiful stuff. And so in my day, I feel the meditation, and the best one so far has been the heart meditation, because it's been only 6 minutes and I could sit through it and stay awake. And it's
Awesome.
just not me to recharge, but actually my husband also uses it, and he says it is just so good, because my husband can't sit still during meditation. He
Oh.
finds that this 6 minute one is just like, wow, it's beautiful. It's 6 minutes, it doesn't take long. So yeah, and for me, in my day has been good. And plus the everything that I learn from you about the new moon and manifesting, and I'm doing it. And so I
Great.
feel like even if I can get that in, and sometimes just an affirmation that I want to use will come through, I come write it down and just put it in my jar, and I know that the field that's holding it will take care of what has to happen. But
Hmm.
for me, that is huge, that I don't have to constantly keep working at holding myself up, but it's happening now because I know how to do it and how to make use and work in harmony with nature,
Yeah.
or have
Yeah.
something like the moon do it for me, for example, how to help,
Hmm.
so I find that really helpful. Anything that's saving me time, space, and energy is good,
Hmm.
is good for me. Mother of two,
Exactly.
and working and holding my business, I feel like something has to be there that holds for me now. And so I feel like you give us so many tools like that, which is absolutely helpful.
Wow, thank you. And I know you had messaged me about the dimensions, the dimension of light meditation that you
Oh
really love.
yes,
So,
it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. It worked huge for me, because when I studied hypnotherapy, we had to do this past life thing on each other. And for me,
hmm.
past life came that I was not even human. Like the first past life, I was a form, and I was like a
Hmm.
roboid. And so for me to get my mind around that now was like, what? A rhomboid? Who even survives like that? But I was basically a part of a crystal. It was another. The state was called Sarusa,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the information I got when I was under hypno and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful to be in that space. It's like when you landed, it was ripples in that planet, and that's just how people knew you were there. Not people, the other forms knew you were there. That's how you communicated. And you
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, just color of light was beautiful and blue and light blue and shimmering kind of a thing. And so it was
Mm-hmm.
condensed consciousness is what I came to know. And when I
Yeah.
did that dimension of light, I felt like the third time, because the third time when you called, you just asked it to be magnified and you didn't ask for anything to happen. There was this huge rhomboid of light that just came and just swoosh. It's almost
Wow.
like a soul fragment. Now when I think about it, I feel like it was like almost like a soul fragment meeting me, because I like had goosebumps and it was just
Mm-hmm.
profound. And when I asked what is the message that I'm getting, it just kept saying transformation. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it was cellular. I don't know what it was, but that was just, it was huge, and it was just so beautiful to be like with a being of light, or being like, you know, when you have tears when you meet someone who you know but you don't know,
Yeah.
and you don't know how you
Mm.
know them, but you know them. You know,
Yep.
like it would have a similar experience if Jesus came in front of you, for example, right?
Mm.
And so, yeah, Jesus for me, not may not be for everybody, but yeah. And so, it's just so profound, and you're just like, oh, your tears rolling down, and you just feel like goosebumps because you've just met someone you knew known ages back, or you've seen
Yeah.
your mom after a long time, right?
Absolutely.
That was the
Mm-hmm.
feeling that came, and so that's how I felt. It was so profound. So it
Yeah.
was huge for me. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
that's so
for
beautiful.
reminding me of that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, let's see. Let me see if anyone wants to chime in. If you have any questions at all for us, please go ahead and let us know. I definitely want to make sure that we leave a moment for that as well.
Yes.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I could possibly think of, but I mean, everything that you said has just been so amazing and so beautiful, Liberata. So yeah, for me, it's such an honor. And again, it's so fun to meet you, and that's again what I love also, is that we get to connect in this way, and
Yeah,
this is
thank you. It was
wonderful.
beautiful actually meeting you face to face. It's like, thank you so much.
Yeah. And let's see, is there anything else that you can think of, any questions that you have for me, Liberata?
Mm. I remember you're teaching about the golden ratio. I had
Hmm.
a question for you about the golden ratio long back,
Hmm.
like how, if you could inculcate more teachings and how we can use it. Like I know we use it in our medicine bag, and
Hmm.
but how else could we use it in daily life to help us?
Yeah.
In yeah, I would
Yes.
really be interested in that. Whenever you cover your other things, that does not
Yeah,
happen.
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, the golden ratio, the basic thing is really that it is used in art. So whenever we create anything and we put anything out into the world, it's important that we kind of honor, that sacred geometry of the golden ratio, to where how we place things and how we do things. And that obviously can be done for the rest of our life as well. And then, of course, the golden ratio shows up in everything and in all forms. When you're looking at a shell, or you're looking at your hand, for example, this is, let me see
Oh,
what I have to, like,
right.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's the golden ratio. You look and see how your thumb is formed, and if you go in from and then go out, the whole, it's, this is like
Wow.
opposite, so it's kind of hard for me to show, but yeah, basically like this, you can see the golden ratio here. And so it shows up in everything. So I think it's, once we make that recognition, and then, so for me, I use it in my photography and my art, on how I place things. So you want to place things like in thirds, and once you start dividing it like that, and then can see how that magnifies your space and how it magnifies your life, then that will make a huge difference. But yeah, definitely, I'd love to get into it more with you at some point, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so where do you see your future for yourself? What are your goals and dreams and visions for yourself and your family?
Oh, wow. My goals for myself. Um, I want to. So we have settled here for like 4 or 5 years now, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to. I keep feeling that I haven't found where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I just feel I haven't found, and the day I find it, I'll know it's my tribe and it's this is my place, and
Mm-hmm.
that is place where when we settle, we will have, I will set up my clinic. And I will have that not only a clinic as for physio, but even like hypnotherapy and
Mm-hmm.
energy healing modalities will be one of that. And so that has been huge on my mind wherever I have been, or have a place for retreat, basically, where people can just come out and then, have this openness and the sharing and a space to build my own community, basically, and not
Mm-hmm.
not just a virtual one, but somewhere where people connect physically. That's because I
Yeah,
feel they're here for a reason, for physical connection.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah.
to just move into a place where you just know you belong. It's not that I
Mm-hmm.
don't belong where I am. I know I'm loved and I'm well, and my neighbors and all, but I just feel like I still feel like there is something more.
Yeah.
And so for
Yeah.
me and family, I feel that's a vision to move into this place and start out. And then in the whole term is usually not work as a physio all the time, but for me, I want to be able to be public speaking and inspire people to follow their journey, just like you are doing. Like, so I'm like inspired like the Tony Robbins kinds, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then just the fact, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's kind of written somewhere that someday it might.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And you were asking me earlier, if there's anything, any inspirations or anything for you. And let me go ahead and see. Margaret was saying, Liberata, what other types of healing do you practice along with hypnotherapy? That's a good question.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Margaret. So I synchronize everything. So I do angel card readings, but as my hypnotherapy, I have not given in my case studies, but I still have the knowledge. So when I'm doing angel card readings and I feel like someone shows up from a past life or someone's parents show up or something in the healing, then I just integrate hypnotherapy in that and bring that out in the healing. And then I do Reiki and Theta healing. And then just when I was in Canada, I learned integrative chakra therapy. And so I'm an integrative chakra therapy practitioner, which helps integrate your chakras and yeah, and bring them in alignment, and everything from your shushumna, your core, and then all that.
Mm-hmm.
Energy healing comprises of taking off any attachments and synchronizing your body and attuning it to the highest blueprint that you have, or the creator of all that is in case of Theta. So yeah, Theta healing. So many, I kind of lose. I just bring everything, whatever it is, and then whatever I need to work on the person, and then it just shows itself, right? Usually, and you
Absolutely.
know that, yeah, best when we're on that person, the person might come like, oh, but what's going to come out is everything from the past which led to now, and kind of just bring that into circle so the person is feeling whole again. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, this is sweet. Debbie is saying, Liberata, it's happening now. In this moment, you are a great speaker. I love it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what
Thank
I
you
was
for
thinking
everyone
too.
who holds the space for us, for both of us to come here and each of us can shine our light through. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And Joan was saying, "Oh, that's lovely, Liberata. Oh, so wonderful."
Mhm.
Yeah. Any other questions that any of you have? Please go ahead and chime in. Let us know. So for me, I so you were asking as far as inspiration for you, and really when you started talking, I mean, I just got goosebumps because I was
Oh,
feeling this for you, and I was feeling absolutely you are already this leader now, and you're going to keep stepping into that space even more, and I can see and feel that in every fiber of my being for you, that you are
oh,
absolutely going to be a community leader, and you are an amazing healer and an amazing light already, and you're just going to keep on shining that. And I'm just so excited to be even a
thank you.
little part of that journey with you, and to just keep helping you in any form that I can, and help keep elevating you and hold space for you. So such an honor for me, and you are brilliant. So yeah, I know that you're on your path, and how you already know that you're being guided in every step of the way. And absolutely, this is going to show up for you. I have no doubt about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Silke. I honor this time and space that you have given me.
Oh,
Thank you. You
thank
just,
you.
I don't cry on screen, right?
Oh.
But I guess we're allowed because you feel it. Yeah. And it's real.
Yes,
Yeah. It's
absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're meant to do it. And so there's no question that you're going to. Absolutely. And you are already doing it, of course, too. And I think that's also important to hear too, for everyone. And I think maybe that might be the most important gift, as well, is that it doesn't matter how we do it or in what form. It can be just by helping one person, just by holding their hand, or just by being in a checkout line and being kind to someone who needs it in that moment, or just helping someone in small ways, or just having a kind word for a person. And we never know how that is. And so when we are holding higher vibration in a beautiful space, it doesn't matter if it is for one person or if it's for 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. It That difference that we can make in one person's life, that transfers to everything. And it's such a gift. And it can be in the form of healing touch, it can be in the form of a session, it can be in the form of Reiki, or theta therapy, or anything else, or hypnotherapy. But again, it can also just be you being you, and you holding the highest vibration that you can, and shining a much bigger light for everyone else around you. And that's really what elevates and shifts and moves everything in this world. And one person just holding a high vibration, I mean, there's statistics as far as like how much we can influence, but when we can raise our own level of vibration and hold a higher space, the difference we can make, even if we're not in the vicinity of someone else, by them just being around us, and even just being in the same town, in the same universe here, as far as the internet, what we can shine here, the difference that it makes, that's all the difference.
The
And
ripple effect. Yeah. It's the
yes.
same ripple effect. It's like when you put a small drop of water, it doesn't know that it is a part of this big ocean, and it is actually
Mm,
contributing so much, though it is just a small drop. And sometimes we think that, oh, yeah, they are so much more. Like, we compare as women. I don't know why we do this, but we like, oh, she's reaching out to so many. But you
mhm.
don't know that when you are reaching out to that one person in front of you, you are doing equivalent or more than to what
Yes.
somebody is doing and reaching out to a crowd, for example. Because
Yes.
once you are doing the best of what you have, your capacity and your giving is the best of what you can do. And as long as you're doing the best you can, you are doing an amazing job, I feel.
Yes.
It's like Mother Teresa's quoting that comes to mind, Silke. It's
Hmm.
not important that we do great things. It's important that we do small or simple things with great love.
Mm, yes.
And
And that is absolutely it. And I couldn't agree with you more on that. That is exactly it. And I think the important thing is always, regardless of what we do, is to never lose that touch for each individual person and the difference we can make for each person.
right, right. And that
Yeah.
each is important no matter
Yes,
what.
absolutely. Yep. Yes, you
Oh,
matter. Everyone matters, and
everyone
once we
matters.
recognize that, yep, I think there's nothing more important than that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like I feel like I'm complete, like right now. Like, yeah,
yes.
this is like, oh, done.
Absolutely, it is. So, yes. And in closing, for anyone who is ready to join Beauty Flourishing or might still have any kind of reservations or anything at all, what would you tell them?
I feel that if you feel ready and if you're looking out for community that is safe, secure, feeling that you want to just simply give yourself this gift of shining through, you should take a step ahead and just go and sign up for Beauty Flourishing. Or do what I did. Say, okay, I'll give it this month or this, and then you will. And once you come in and you actually follow through, you feel, oh my God, the value that you get is so much more than what you think you would get. And so just hang in there and take that one step, and I think the universe will just answer back in full. If you take that one step, the universe will take care of the rest of it, just like it did for me. And so I think it does that for anything. You just have to trust and believe and just answer your call. So it's very important to tap in and see if this is for you. And if you have like this whole heart tugging into yes, then go for it. Don't hold yourself back. It's the best thing you could do for yourself. Yeah.
Mm, thank you. Thank you, Liberata. Such an honor and pleasure to meet you and to hold space with you.
Same here.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining
Thank you,
today.
everybody. Yes.
Appreciate you all. And come and join Beauty Flourishing if you're ready. And we will definitely do this again, Liberata, because
Yeah.
I love everything, all this beautiful space that you held today, and loved your inspirations. You are already a public speaker. And we will definitely do this again where we'll just bring you on, where you can inspire everyone because you have such a great message. And I know that there's so much more there for you for sure. So thank you. And thank you, everyone. You have a beautiful rest of your Saturday today and many, many blessings to all of you. Thank you for shining your light. Bye,
Woohoo!
Liberata. Thank
Bye.
you. Namaste.